Hey everyone, feeling like you need a little boost, a little something to brighten your day.
Yeah, I hear that.
Well, you're in the right place. We're diving deep into this awesome sermon today.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Streams of Hope by Bishop Loretta Sanders.
Okay.
And we've also got some really interesting notes from someone who was there listening to her preach.
Nice.
And let me tell you, this sermon is all about finding those oases in the desert moments in your life.
Those are important to find.
They really are. And she uses this incredibly powerful image.
Okay.
Rivers in a barren desert.
Now that's an image, right?
Right. How is that even possible?
It makes you wonder.
And that's exactly what Bishop Sanders wants us to think about.
I like that.
She kicks things off. And get this, she starts with Isaiah 41.18,
Okay.
where God straight up promises to create rivers in the wilderness, springs in the valleys.
It's a powerful image.
It really is.
Yeah.
It makes you want to close your eyes and just imagine it.
It does. So what's the connection to hope, though?
Right. We're not talking about literally being lost in the desert here.
Exactly. It's about more than just physical needs.
Yeah.
It's about something way deeper. See, just like God can bring water to the driest, most barren places,
Right.
he can bring hope to situations that seem, I don't know, impossible.
Okay, so we're talking about those moments when you're just how am I going to get through this?
Exactly, where you feel stuck.
Exactly. But then she goes on to say that hope isn't passive, it's active.
Oh, I like that.
So it's not just about sitting around waiting for a miracle.
Yeah, right. It's about recognizing that God is present.
Yeah.
Even when we don't see the way out just yet.
No, that's good. So changing our perspective more than our circumstances.
Yeah, you could put it that way. It's about shifting that focus from what's missing
Right.
to what's possible,
She said something about how hope is shown differently in the Old Testament versus the New Testament.
Interesting.
I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah, tell me more about that. What did she say?
Okay, so in the Old Testament, it seems like hope was more about waiting,
Okay.
patiently enduring through hard times.
Uh-huh.
But in the New Testament,
Yeah.
it's more active, right?
That's-
We're empowered by the Holy Spirit,
Okay.
and that's what fuels us to keep going.
I see. So it's about more than just believing things will get better.
Right, right. It's about taking action, even when things are tough.
Even when you're afraid.
Yes. It's about having the courage to choose hope
And to act on it.
and to act on it, exactly. What do you think about that?
I think that's a really powerful way to look at it. It's like we're not just waiting for hope to find us.
Yeah.
We have a role to play in creating it, in moving towards it.
Yes. And she talked about those desert experiences,
So tell me more about that.
those challenging times we go through.
Yeah,
She said those often lead to incredible growth.
I like that. So those tough times, they're not there to break us.
Right. They're there to make us stronger.
The opportunity is.
Okay, so we're talking about taking action, making hope happen, and actually using those tough times to learn and grow. But
Easier said than done, right?
totally.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to talk about it, but when you're actually in it,
When you're in that struggle.
yes, it's whoa, different story.
Mm.
But Bishop Sanders, she's got this challenge for us.
Okay, a challenge. I like it.
Yeah, right. I'm here for it. She says we have to get real with ourselves
Okay.
and figure out what our own personal desert is.
Interesting.
So what are you really thirsty for? What kind of hope are you searching for in your life?
Huh.
It's she's saying,
What's your desert?
yes,
Yeah.
what's your desert? Don't just listen to this sermon
Right.
and do nothing. Let it really sink in.
She wants us to really feel it, right?
Yes. And she gives these really relatable examples.
Okay.
She talks about a relationship falling apart,
Mm-hmm. We've all been there.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Or wanting something so bad and it just feels completely out of reach.
The unfulfilled dreams, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Or
Yeah.
feeling like you're just stuck going nowhere.
Like you're in a rut.
Yes. We've all felt that, right? That dryness in your soul.
Absolutely.
It's so real. And here's the thing. Instead of avoiding those feelings,
Oh, okay.
she's lean into them. Bring them to God.
Don't hide from them.
Exactly. And ask, what now? What am I supposed to be learning from this? How can I still be hopeful, even though things are hard right now?
Powerful.
Right. And you know what really hit me? That whole being a source of hope thing.
Oh, yeah. What do you mean?
We usually think of hope as something we receive,
Right.
but she's saying we can also be the ones giving it out.
That's a good
It's
point.
like, whoa, mind blown, right?
It is. And sometimes, honestly, I think the most powerful hope we experience is the hope we give to someone else.
Wow, I love that.
Okay.
So that brings us back to those streams of hope.
And the little miracles.
Yes, those moments of support that just show up.
When you need them most.
Exactly. And her notes, they go deep on this.
What do they say?
Well, they talk about how those streams can be like anything, really.
Okay.
Like sometimes it's a friend who just listens,
Yeah.
or family being there for you,
Totally.
or even like a total stranger who does something kind of out of the blue.
Those are the best. It's like a little reminder
Yeah.
that there's still good out there.
Even when things are rough. But you know what else she said?
What's that?
Sometimes those streams, they come from inside of you.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like tapping into your own
That is
strength.
my resilience.
Yes. Like that's saying you're stronger than you think.
I love that. But how do we do that? Access that inner strength when we feel totally drained.
Right. She says gratitude is key.
Oh, I like that.
Like instead of focusing on what's wrong, what are you grateful for?
It's about shifting your perspective.
Exactly. It's like when you're super stressed and someone's like, hey, just breathe. What's one good thing right now?
It's grounding.
Totally. And the more grateful we are, the more open we become
Open to what?
to receiving those streams of hope, both from other people and from within.
I love that. So we've talked about so much, facing our challenges, being hopeful for others, remembering to be grateful.
We've covered a lot, but you know me.
What is it? What's the twist?
There's a twist. I knew it.
There is.
Okay, so tell me everything.
Okay, so you know how sometimes we think we know exactly what the answer should look like, but then the
Yeah.
answer shows up in a
Mhm.
completely different package.
It's like you're praying for a specific thing,
Right.
and you're expecting it to, like, come a certain way.
Totally.
And then it's like, plot twist.
Different delivery methods.
Yes. It's like, whoa, God, you work in mysterious ways.
Seriously. But that's kind of the beauty of it, right?
Okay, so paint me a picture. Give me an example of what this unexpected provision could look like.
Okay, imagine this. You're, I don't know, really struggling financially.
Oof, yeah, been there.
Right, like praying for a job, just some relief.
Praying for that paycheck to stretch a little further, right?
Yes. And you're doing all the right things.
Right.
Filling out applications, networking.
Yeah,
But nothing's really happening.
it's disheartening.
It is.
Yeah.
And then, out of nowhere. Uh-oh.
This friend you haven't talked to in forever reaches out.
Okay, I'm listening. This is where it gets good.
Right. So they're like, hey, I'm starting this business,
Yeah.
and I was thinking about you. Would you be interested in...
Oh, here it comes. It's not what you expected at all, is it?
Not even close.
Oh.
It might even be a little outside your comfort zone.
Oh, for sure. So then those doubts start creeping in, right?
Absolutely. Like, is this really it? What if I fail?
Am I even qualified for this?
All those fears.
Yes. But Bishop Sanders, she's like, pay attention to those moments.
Those little nudges.
Yes. Like, that could be God's plan unfolding.
Even if it looks different than we thought it would.
Exactly. So it's like, you might not get what you thought you wanted.
But you might just get what you need.
I love that. But that takes a lot of trust, doesn't it? It really does. Trusting that even though we don't have all the answers, he does.
And trusting that he'll guide us.
Exactly. Like those streams of hope, they'll lead us where we're meant to be.
Even if it's not the path we would chosen for ourselves.
Exactly. So for anyone listening who's feeling lost or discouraged,
Or like they're wandering in the desert right now.
yes, just remember.
What's the one thing they should hold on to?
Keep your heart open
To what?
to the unexpected. Trust that God's got you.
Even when you can't see it, right?
Exactly. And never, ever underestimate the power of a little hope.
Oh, I love that. It reminds me of those wildflowers that pop up in the cracks of the sidewalk.
Yes,
Like even in the toughest conditions, beauty can still bloom.
absolutely. And just like those flowers, we can bloom too.
We really can. Wow, this has been amazing. So many good reminders about how hope shows up.
Sometimes when we least expect it,
Exactly. But remember, those streams of hope
they're always flowing.
always. And that's a wrap on another deep dive.
Until next time.
Keep searching for those streams of hope, everybody. You never know where they might lead you.
And remember, even in the desert, there's always beauty to be found.